Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Tuesday, April the 26th. We got, once again, a 3-game slate for Tuesday. We got Game 5 of Atlanta and Miami. Miami up 3-1 with a chance to close out that series. Minnesota-Memphis tied 2-2, so we got Game 5 of that series. And then we have Game 5 of New Orleans and Phoenix. That series also tied 2-2. But yeah, we're going to talk through these 3 games for tonight, talk through what stands out to me, taking a first look at this slate on Monday night. Just before we do get started, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. I always appreciate the likes. If you're new to the channel and you have not yet, hit that subscribe button as well. I do upload these NBA videos daily. Been trying to upload every single day during the playoffs, and I want to continue doing that. So make sure, if you enjoy these videos, you hit that subscribe button. Also, go check out the sponsor of the video, Prize Picks. So Prize Picks, a player prop based DFS site. I'm sure most of you guys have heard of Prize Picks. But if you have not and you want to sign up over there, you can use my promo code NOAH. They will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And they do already have some stuff posted for Tuesday night's games. You can take a look at their board, see the props they have available. Again, you're just picking the over or the under. It is very simple. You have to make at least 2 picks, but you can make up to 5 picks, and you can win up to 10 extra money on Prize Picks. They offer a ton of other sports outside of just NBA, so you can look at other sports they offer. You can mix and match sports as well. You can do different entries where maybe you have a couple NBA picks, maybe you get a couple MLB picks, pair them together. It's totally up to you, but you can check out Prize Picks. Make sure to sign up with my promo code. You get a deposit bonus when you do sign up. But that's it for that. Let's go ahead and talk about this 3-game Tuesday night slate. We're going to start off with Atlanta and Miami. So looking at Atlanta today, a couple key question marks to watch right now. So Bogdanovic is questionable. He's been questionable like a lot this season, and it feels like every time he's questionable, he usually plays. So I'm expecting Bogdan to play. And then Clint Capella did return last game, played 21 minutes. He's questionable as well. I would expect him to play too. So I don't think these are like major question marks. I think both these guys are should play here. But we'll start off with Trae Young at the top. So obviously, in this series, Trae Young has been kind of shut down. I mean, his best game was in Game 3, and he had 42 Draftkings points. Look, Trae Young is one of these guys that can just go nuts any night, but Miami has done a really good job slowing down Trae. Trae still should play big minutes here if it's a close game. He always has a big upside, but the matchup's not ideal. The price tag has not really come down. Like, if Trae was a lot cheaper, I think I'd have interest, but when he's still $9,300, so it's not like we're getting this crazy discount on him. So I'm not super high on Trae today. There's definitely other guys I'd rather pay up for. Bogdan at 6'1", assuming he plays. He's an okay GPP option. He had a huge game in games 2 and 3. Games 1 and 4 were not great for Bogdan, but we know Bogdan does offer a lot of upside coming off the bench. He can put up big games. I mean, he's a high usage player. He's a guy that when he comes off the bench, he's going to take shots. He can score. He can rebound and get assists. He just does a little bit of everything. And I would assume if this game's close, he plays about 30 minutes. So Bogdan's definitely viable. Price tag's come up a little bit, but I still think he's playable. Clint Capella will have to monitor what kind of minutes limit he's on. So there was no report of a minutes limit for Capella last game. He played 21 minutes. That was with it being a blowout. I mean, clearly he was kind of limited. Like he wasn't on pace to play big minutes. Even factoring in the blowout, he was on pace to play like 24, 25 minutes. We probably get like 25, 26 minutes from Capella today, but depending on what kind of restrictions he's on, if we get report that he's not going to be limited. Like if Capella can play 30 minutes, I mean, $5,500 is really cheap for Capella if he's cleared to play 30 minutes. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. Obviously, this is not the best matchup against Bam. He really struggled in those 21 minutes. He wasn't super productive, only had 2 points and 7 rebounds. But we know Capella is a good point per minute player. The price tag's come down. He's someone I kind of have interest in, especially if he's not limited. John Collins, I mean, he's just been bad these last few games. He's not been that productive. The minutes have not been that high either. Now that Capella's back, I don't have much interest in John Collins. I know he's really cheap, but not someone I'm super high on. Kevin Huerter is a fine value option. He's 5K. He probably plays like 34, 35 minutes if this game's close. Kevin Huerter's not one of these guys that offers a huge ceiling. But at 5K, I mean, he's playable. Same goes for DeAndre Hunter. Same goes for Gallo. Not as high on Gallo, but I think Hunter's fine. Hunter should play big minutes. He played 30 last game, even with the blowout. Probably plays about 34, 35 minutes if it's a close game today. He's probably my favorite, or at least my favorite Atlanta value. Like between Huerter, Hunter, and Gallo, I think Hunter might be my favorite, then Huerter, then Gallo. Gallo's minutes have definitely come down. Honestly, Gallo's not that appealing, especially now that Capella and John Collins are both healthy. I mean, Gallo only played 15 minutes last game. He probably gets like 18 to 20 minutes. So I really don't even have that much interest in Gallo. But I do want to mention DeLon Wright. So DeLon Wright continues to be kind of a staple for this Hawks team and in their rotation. He's played 29, 30, and 26 minutes in their last 3 games. He's been, decent. I mean, he's not a great point per minute player. He's really out there for defense. But he's going to play probably 24, 25 minutes at least, I would think. And he's only 3,900. So, I think DeLon Wright on this slate is definitely a playable value. I do question the upside for DeLon Wright. When he's playing with Trey and with Bogdan, he's not really going to get much usage, but he's cheap. He's going to get minutes. I think DeLon Wright is definitely in play today. But that's really it for Atlanta. Let's talk about Miami now. So looking at the Heat side, Jimmy Butler at the top. I mean, I think Jimmy Butler is one of the better pay-up options on this slate. He just continues to dominate in the playoffs. Obviously, Game 1 was, a little bit of a floor game from him, but he also lost a lot of minutes in that game due to blowout. He lost about 6 to 8 minutes. Normally, if it's a close game, Jimmy's going to play like 40 minutes. Last game, he lost a few minutes as well because it was a blowout. He lost about 3 or 4 extra minutes. So I think we're getting like 40 minutes from Jimmy Butler tonight if it's a close game. Now, so far in this series, Game 1 was a blowout. Last game was a blowout. I mean, there's definitely blowout risk here, especially with Miami playing at home. They want to close out this series. I'm sure they're going to come out firing. But Jimmy's role is just really good. He's playing huge minutes. His usage is really good. He's been super productive on a point per minute basis. The price tag hasn't come up that much. So I do like Jimmy Butler quite a bit today. Definitely, like I said, one of my favorite pay-up options on Yahoo. I think it's the small forward position. He's for sure, the top small forward on Yahoo if you can fit him. And then you got Bam Adebayo at 6,900. I mean, this price tag is really low for Bam. I know Bam was, kind of disappointing last game. Only had 25 DK points in 30 minutes, but we know Bam is a good point per minute player. And if this game's close, he should play mid-30s minutes, 35, 36 minutes. I know he's kind of struggled in the series. Maybe he's dealing with an injury right now. He's been on the injury report lately, but 6,900 is too cheap for Bam. Like, I don't care. I think at this price tag, Bam is definitely in play for me. He's someone I do have interest in. With Kyle Lowry out last game, it was very surprising to see Tyler Hero struggle as much as he did. He only played 21 minutes, shot 1 for 8. I think Hero is definitely a guy that you could see bounce back here. Without Lowry, that should definitely open up more opportunity for Hero. Coming off the bench, he should get a little bit more usage. Maybe he gets more ball handling opportunities. His assist numbers might see a little spike with Lowry off the floor. I think after he busted last slate, Tyler Hero will be much lower owned today. So as a low owned tournament option, I'm definitely interested in Tyler Hero. And then there's a couple value guys I want to talk about for Miami. So Max Strus, I mean, he continues to play really well. He's been starting so far every game in the series. Minutes have been decent. He did get up to 36 minutes last game. I think without Kyle Lowry, that does open up more minutes for kind of a couple of guys. And Strus is someone that should play more with Lowry out. Should probably get 30 to 32 minutes here. Maybe he plays more if he's playing well. The price tag at 4,600. I mean, that's still fairly cheap for Strus. So I definitely think Strus is in play for value. PJ Tucker had a good game last game, 29 DK points in 28 minutes. PJ Tucker's an okay value, but he's one of these guys that I just never get excited to roster, and especially if he's going to be popular. With it being hard to find value on these playoff slates, you kind of see guys get a lot of ownership that probably shouldn't. I could see that being PJ Tucker today. So if PJ Tucker's a popular value, that's someone that I'm totally fine fading. But if no one's going to play PJ Tucker, then yeah, I mean, at 4,300, he's got enough upside to pay off this price tag and to maybe put up a similar performance like he did last game. He should play fairly good minutes. It's PJ Tucker. You never get excited about him, but he's cheap and he probably gets 30, 32 minutes. So he's viable. And then Gabe Vincent is probably my favorite value on Miami. So he did start last game in place of Kyle Lowry. Played 27 minutes, had 24 DK points. Obviously, Kyle Lowry is out once again. So I'm expecting Vincent to start once again. I'm expecting him to play about 30 minutes. At 4,100, I think Gabe Vincent's a pretty good value play today. I think at this price tag, he definitely stands out as a good, cheap option. Again, it's hard to find value on these playoff slates, so guys like Gabe Vincent who are going to play, probably 30 minutes, definitely, make sense to me for value. And then on Yahoo, Gabe Vincent is minimum salary, $10 over there, so I definitely like him a lot on Yahoo as well. But that's all that I got from Miami. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game, Minnesota and Memphis. So looking at Minnesota today, you got the big three with Cat, Edwards, and Russell. Cat obviously coming off a big game last game after he really struggled in games 2 and 3. Bounced back in a big way last game, played 42 minutes, had 57 Draftkings points. When Cat's not in foul trouble, he's going to play huge minutes. And obviously we saw that be the case last game. In game 1, when he wasn't in foul trouble, he played 43 minutes. He's been dealing with foul trouble. Also, game 2 was a blowout, which didn't help either. I think we get 40, 42 minutes from Cat today if he stays out of foul trouble. Obviously, he's a super productive point-per-minute player. Memphis's defense is really good, but Karl-Anthony Towns is one of these guys that you can definitely win in any matchup. He's a high usage player. We obviously know he's going to produce when he's on the floor. The price tag is not that expensive either. Like, I think 9,100 is fairly cheap for Cat, so I'm definitely into Cat today. I probably would prefer Jimmy over him straight up as a pay-up option, but yeah, Karl-Anthony Towns is for sure in play for me. Anthony Edwards, kind of been, just kind of mediocre lately. He did have a decent game last game, though. Kind of lucked his way into 3 blocks and 2 steals, but did have 45 DK points in 37 minutes. His minutes should be pretty solid here. If it's a close game, he should play about 38 to 40 minutes as well. 8K, I think, is kind of where he should be priced, but obviously Anthony Edwards has a ceiling and is definitely playable. And then D'Angelo Russell at 7K. I mean, he's just kind of been, he's been mediocre. He's been a tough guy to trust so far in the playoffs. Like, you just never know what you're getting from D'Angelo Russell. Games 1, 2, and 4 were really bad for him. He did have a big game, though, in game 3. He's probably my least favorite of the big 3 from Minnesota just because he's the toughest to trust right now. You just never know what you're getting from him on a nightly basis. And the price tag at 7K, I think, is about right. But Russell's obviously playable on a 3-game slate, but I would for sure prefer Cat and Edwards if I could get to them. And then you have Patrick Beverley at 5,600. Kind of price where he should be. Beverley should get good minutes. I mean, last 2 games he has played 34 and 37 minutes. But he is one of these guys, at 5,600, I do kind of question the upside at the salary. Like, Beverley feels like one of these guys that, I've said it before, is really unlikely to kill you if you don't play him. Just because he's a guy that's not really ever going to put up like 40, 45 DraftKings points. But he should play like 34, 35 minutes. He probably scores like 28, 30 DraftKings points, which is solid. He feels like a safe play. I do kind of question the upside for tournaments, but, obviously if you want to go there, I think it's fine. And I do want to talk about Jared Vanderbilt as a value. So we've seen Jared Vanderbilt's minutes get way up the last 2 games. Obviously, first 2 games in this series, his minutes were way down. Only played 19 and 9 minutes. Well, the last 2 games, Jared Vanderbilt's played 32 and 35 minutes. Is this something that continues? I would assume so. I would assume that since he's been playing so many minutes, they've been kind of wanting him out there. He is a guy that can defend. He can rebound as well. He's not a guy that can really space the floor, but his defense is kind of something they need. His rebounding is really good as well. He's just a good hustle guy. He's a guy that you kind of, in certain matchups can, fit really well. And I think right now, they're liking what they're getting from Vanderbilt. So I'm expecting Vanderbilt to continue to get pretty good minutes, and he's only 4,100. He looks like one of the better value plays on the slate, too. I think he's definitely in play for me. He's cheap on Yahoo as well, so I do like him over there. On Yahoo, he's only $13. I think he does stand out as a pretty good value power forward option on Yahoo. And then, the bench guys like Malik Beasley, McDaniels. I mean, Malik Beasley's got upside. It just comes down to, if he can hit his shots or not. Last game, he really struggled, only played 12 minutes, didn't take a single shot. He has a low floor, but the ceiling is there if he can get hot from the field. But these are just kind of like dart throws. Same goes for McDaniels. I mean, McDaniels' minutes were way down last game. He was also in foul trouble. Maybe that was the reason that, Vanderbilt played so much last game was because McDaniels in foul trouble. But even the game before that, McDaniels played 22 minutes, and, Vanderbilt still played like 32 minutes that game. So I think we get decent minutes from Vanderbilt. He's for sure like my favorite value from Minnesota. But that's it for Minnesota. And I was talking about Memphis. You got John Morant at the top at 9,900, who I, once again think is a pretty solid pay-up option. I know Ja so far in this series has kind of been just mediocre. We have yet to see like a massive ceiling game from Ja. He's put up 51, 52, 53, and then last game he had 46 DK points. But he was in a little bit of foul trouble last game. He did miss out on a couple of minutes because he got some late fouls. Played 34 minutes though. I would think if this game's close, we're getting about 40 minutes from Ja, especially with this series being tied at 2-2. Obviously, this is a huge game for Memphis at home. They want to get the win here, go up 3-2. I think we get massive minutes from Ja. The price tag, I think, still, he has the upside to pay off this price tag. I mean, Ja, he's shown triple-double upside. He had a triple-double in Game 3, was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double in Game 2, was 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double last game. So the ceiling's definitely there. The minutes should be massive. The pace of this game should be really good. I think Ja looks like a really good pay-up option as well. So I do like him on DraftKings. I do like him on Yahoo as well. $43 on Yahoo. He does stand out as a pretty good option over there. And then, the other guys like Desmond Bane, Triple J. I mean, Desmond Bane, he's got a ceiling if he can get hot from the field. And, the last 2 games he has shot the ball really well. His minutes have also been really high too. So, Desmond Bane's starting to turn a corner to, really show a big ceiling. The price tag has gotten up there, though. He's almost 7K now on DraftKings. But if Desmond Bane's going to continue to get 35, 36 minutes, I mean, he's got a ceiling to put up, enough points to pay off this price tag. Don't love that the price tag's come up a little bit, but I still think he's playable. I mean, Triple J, this dude, he frustrates me so much. He's a good point per minute player. Without Steven Adams in the rotation, Triple J should be really productive when he's on the floor because he's going to play a lot of his minutes at center. But man, like he's just always in foul trouble. So far in the series, 5 fouls, 24 minutes because, limited by foul trouble. 4 fouls, 27 minutes. Didn't lose as many minutes in that game, but still lost a few. Game 3 had 5 fouls, only played 21 minutes. Last game, he fouled out in 23 minutes. The dude can't stay out of foul trouble. It's literally like every single game now he's in foul trouble. One of these games he's going to play like 32 minutes and he's probably going to put up like 40 fantasy points. I don't know when that game's going to be. It'll probably be the day that I don't play him, but I definitely think Triple J is viable because the ceiling is there, especially when he stays out of foul trouble. You don't know when that's going to be. So far, he is yet to stay out of foul trouble in this series. Obviously, there's risk there, but I definitely think the ceiling is there for Triple J. He's in play for me. Brandon Clark, he continues to play really well off the bench. Got 29 minutes last game. He probably gets like 26 to 30 minutes here. They really liked him, off the bench. I really don't know why they don't start Brandon Clark. They started Xavier Tillman last game, but he didn't really play much. At this point, it would make sense just to start Clark. He's just been way better. Clark's price tag's really starting to get up there, though. $5,900 is a lot to pay for him, so I don't think he's a glaring value, but he's still playable because he is a good point per minute player, and if he continues to play about 30 minutes, he's got the upside to pay off this price tag. Dylan Brooks, he's kind of struggled in the series, been very inconsistent. Had a decent game last game. I think 5,800, he's an okay mid-range option. Don't love him, don't hate him either. I think he's just, he's fine. He's like a Kevin Huerter. He's playable, but not a guy that I'm, super excited about. And then the value from Memphis, Kyle Anderson did start last game, I do believe. Or maybe they started Tillman last game, yeah. So Kyle Anderson went back to the bench last game, and they started Tillman. If Kyle Anderson comes off the bench again, then yeah, I'm not really interested, but maybe they change up the starting lineup. Maybe they move Triple J back to the 5 for this game and start Kyle Anderson again. Keep an eye on that Memphis starting lineup. If Anderson's back in there, then he's playable. If he's off the bench, I'm not really interested. Tillman, if he does start, last game he got 5 fouls in 16 minutes, so I would think he probably would have played more last game had he not been in foul trouble. He's only 3,500. We know Xavier Tillman can produce when he does get minutes. He's not like a terrific point per minute player, but he's not like terrible either. If he plays like 25 minutes, he can probably give you like 20 Draftkings points, and at 3,500, it's hard to find guys this cheap that have, any sort of path to big upside. Obviously, there's some path to big upside for Tillman. So I think at 3,500, Tillman is in play today if he does start again. And that's really it from Memphis. I think that's everything I like here. So let's talk about the last game of the night, late night hammer, Pelicans and Suns. So looking at the Pelicans today, to start off with, you got Brandon Ingram at the top for 8,900, CJ McCollum 8,500. I think these guys are very similar plays. So far in the series, both McCollum and Ingram have been playing huge minutes every night. Ingram has, taken on a big role, been, taking a ton of shots. His usage has been really high. I think at 8,900, he is for sure in play. CJ does contribute a little bit more with the peripherals. Last game, was a little bit of a disappointment from CJ, but before last game, CJ was really productive, was really consistent. 48, 50, 52 DK points. Don't have much of a preference when it comes to CJ and Ingram, but I think Ingram, if I had to pick one, he's probably my preferred between the two. Not much of a strong take there. I think both guys are in play. Both should play about 40 minutes if this is a close game. And then J-Val, I do like a lot. So J-Val bounced back in a big way last game. We finally saw the minutes go back up for J-Val. Played 33 minutes. He was super dominant. He was just dominant in the paint. He was rebounding really well. He was super productive, had 52 Draftkings points in those 33 minutes. I said it, I think in my video after Game 3, like I said, J-Val, he might continue to play 26 minutes a night, but on the days where he gets like 33, 34 minutes, J-Val has the upside to break a slate, and last game going for over 50 fantasy points, he was kind of someone that you had to have. The price tag really didn't move at all. He only went up $200. I think J-Val looks great once again. You would have to think after how well he played last game, he's probably going to continue to get pretty good minutes. They might go small and play Larry Nance at the 5. That's always an option, but J-Val's played really well last game. I think he's going to continue that good play into this game and probably play 30-plus minutes once again. And if he does, J-Val has massive upside and can easily crush value when he's getting 30-plus minutes. So like him a lot on both sides. He's pretty affordable on Yahoo as well. $29 at the center position. I think J-Val looks like a top center play today. And then the rest of the Pelicans, Herb Jones. I say it in every video. He's a guy that's going to play big minutes. He doesn't offer a ton of upside. Last game he did have a big game though. Was able to get 3 blocks, 2 steals. Normally when Herb Jones does have a big game, it's usually because he does rack up a lot of blocks and steals. He's a really good defender. Outside of that, he's just kind of out there for defense. He'll shoot threes. He's not going to contribute too much with other stats, but he's going to play 35, 40 minutes. And at 4,800, it's it's hard to find guys at his price tag that are going to get the minutes that he will. So I definitely think Herb Jones is in play just kind of due to the minutes he's going to get. That's probably it from the Pelicans, though. Probably nothing else here. I mean, Alvarado, obviously late in that game, his defense on Chris Paul was huge. Maybe he earned more playing time after, that late, clutch defense he played last game. Possible. He's kind of a GPP dart throw if you want to go there. But that's really it for me from the Pelicans. Now, on the other side with Phoenix, we'll talk about Phoenix real quick before we wrap up the video. So you got Chris Paul at 9K. Last slate, I was pretty high on Chris Paul. He was a huge disappointment. Only had 26 DK points, played 35 minutes. I mean, Chris Paul, he's just going to have to shoulder a massive workload. Obviously, with this series tied 2-2, Phoenix is kind of in trouble. I don't think anyone expected them to lose this series, let alone this series, go 6 games, maybe 7 games. This is going to be a big game for Phoenix. If they lose this game and then have to go back to New Orleans, down 3-2, they're going to be in trouble. Again, I don't think anyone expected Phoenix to be in this position. Obviously, the Devin Booker injury was super unfortunate. But Chris Paul is going to have to shoulder a heavy workload if he wants to carry Phoenix, to a win here. He's going to have to play huge minutes, probably 36 to 40 minutes. The usage should be really good. We obviously know Chris Paul is a great facilitator. It's just a matter of, if he can turn things on, if he can, be aggressive like he was in Game 3. In Game 3, he was super aggressive in the fourth quarter, had a huge game. That's the kind of Chris Paul you got to see for a full, 4 quarters. He's kind of a passive player, which, kind of sucks. He's a guy that does kind of looks for his teammates, which, obviously he's a good guy to play with, but Chris Paul is a great scorer, and when he's aggressive, he can have those huge games where he goes for 50 plus Draftkings points. I still think the upside is there for Chris Paul. Probably would rather get to, Jimmy Butler and John Morant, but CP3 is still in play for me, and I think he'll be lower owned today than he was last slate, just because he did bust, kind of busted last slate. And then you got DeAndre Ayton at 7,900, who seems to have a little bit of a bigger role without Devin Booker. Last 2 games, 20 and 14 shot attempts for Ayton. Minutes have been solid as well. 7,900, the price tag feels about right for Ayton. I think I would prefer J-Val for a little bit cheaper, but Ayton is fine. I don't have an issue with him if you want to go there. Bridges and Crowder, Bridges should play 40 minutes. He doesn't offer a ton of upside, but 5,700, it's hard to find guys at this salary that are going to play 40 minutes, and so far in this series, Bridges has played 38 or more minutes in every game. So, yeah, Bridges is fine just for the minutes he's going to get. Crowder, he doesn't really offer much of a ceiling, but he should play, low 30s minutes here if this game's close. He can do a little bit of everything. He can hit some threes, grab some rebounds. His assists have been going up lately. Maybe without Booker, I don't know if that's the reason why, but 3 and 5 assists the last 2 games for Crowder. Maybe that's something he's going to start to rack up more. He's a guy that can get defensive stats as well. So he's an okay value play. I don't have an issue with Jay Crowder. Cam Johnson, last game was pretty solid. Played 32 minutes, had 25 DK points. I did like Cam Johnson for value last slate, and his price tag really didn't even move. So I'm assuming he's starting once again, and he probably plays low 30s minutes at 4,800. I think Cam Johnson's in play for value. And that's it for Phoenix. I don't really see anything I like here, but there's definitely some value guys to go to here with Crowder and Johnson, and even Bridges, I guess you could consider a value. But that's all that I got for the Suns. That's all I got for this Tuesday slate. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I appreciate you watching. Hit that like button down below before you do get out of here. Hit that subscribe button as well. Make sure to check out PrizePicks, sponsor of the video. Sign up, use code NOAH. When you do, PrizePicks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And you can take a look at PrizePicks board for Tuesday's games, make some picks for yourself, see all the props they have available. As always, I will share a couple of my favorite plays for PrizePicks. For today, I'll post a video probably later tonight, maybe an hour or 2 after this video goes up. I will post my PrizePicks video. You can check that out. If you do play on PrizePicks already, I do share a couple of my favorite plays that I like in that video. But that's all that I got for today, guys. Wish you the best of luck tonight. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.